We'll see if we end up returning home or whether we end up getting on the flight later on this afternoon. Right guys, so it's now, I won't speak too loud because I don't want to wake the neighbourhood, because at the moment it's about 3:30 in the morning, and we're all packed, ready to go. Our flight's at 6:40, so gate closes at 6:10, so from our home to Stansted Airport is about probably 45-50 minute drive. So at the moment it's 3:30, so we'll probably get there about 4:15 towards 4:30. Have a mooch around and probably have something to eat and whatever else. As you can see, we're all ready. We're just taking basically carry-on bags and everything. We're not taking no holdalls, so it's only a couple of days. So yeah. You all good? You ready? Let's get this show on the road, shall we? So how are we feeling after that drive?
Good, I was tired, I slept away.
I'm tired. Well, you've only had about 3 hours sleep, ain't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if we want to get out the car though, because the weather is atrocious.
Well, I'm busting for a wee, so we need to move.
Right. So Mum needs to have a wee, so we got to go over to the bus stop, wait in the wonderful rain, get on the bus up to the terminal, or get on the bus to the terminal, and let Mum have a wee, and then we'll go through fast track, because we've got fast tracks out, so that's fine. Wow. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready, madam? Are you ready? Right. Let's get this show on the road again. I know, it's freezing. Absolutely disgraceful weather. Right. No, they won't be.
Move up, Jen.
Right.
I feel like I'm eating with your days. They're like us.
Right, so we've got to find Mum toilets. Whereabouts toilets down here. Right. Right, so what time is it now? It's
I've got my phone here.
so it's 4:51.
Yeah.
So we've got another hour and 10 minutes until gate closes. So what we're going to try and do, as we've got fast track, we're going to try and get through security, see if we could get something to eat.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, something
Like
to
we
eat.
did at Paris.
Yeah, so see if we could get something to eat, and yeah, just see what Stansted has to offer. Stansted's not the most massive airport in the world, as some will know, but you've got a few different things. We'll probably buy some snacks for the plane and all of that. That's normally WH Smith.
Yeah,
normally go, yeah, and buy some snacks, so we'll do that.
But sometimes we see donut shops when we go there, like me and
Donut
Mum.
shops.
Yeah, I've been there with my mum for...
Are we trying to put on weight or lose weight? So yeah, we'll do that, and yeah, we're just waiting on Mum and G at the moment, and yeah, as soon as they're out, we'll head through security.
Yeah,
Right, Mum and G's back, so we're just rolling for Christmas season. It's I don't think it's that busy at the minute. Well, mind you, it is 4:30 in the morning, but well, 4:51. But yeah, Christmas season not too bad.
What's the difference between Jet2 and Ryanair?
So the difference between
Ryanair and Jet2.
Ryanair and Jet2, right? So Jet2
Yeah.
normally is more expensive, but they normally sell more package holidays
Yeah, so if you were like...
rather than just
going
flights.
for like, I don't know, summer weeks holiday, I think it would only be like £60.
Yeah. But yeah, but today we're flying with Ryanair,
Yeah.
so let's hope it's a pleasant experience, shall we?
Yeah.
Right, so we're by fast track now. Obviously we don't record in security, so see you on the other side.
We're back, we're back.
That's us done in fast track. That took about, I reckon, about 15 minutes. There's quite a lot of faffing about with bags, to be honest. And obviously with G's liquids, having to get them checked, there's quite a queue for that. So yeah, now we're just going to try, what time? It's 5:13, so we've got practically 57 minutes. Probably no real time to sit down properly and grab a bite to eat. So what we're probably going to inevitably do is probably go WH Smith's and just pick up some sandwiches or something like that, and yeah, probably head to the gate.
He only says sorry.
Huh?
He's so cute. Everyone loves to play with him.
Right, that's us through duty free. We never really stop in duty free, to be honest, because you just end up just being out of pocket, don't you? You know, so much spending in there. But I think let's just have a peruse in WH Smith's and pick up some snacks and that. Yeah.
Two hours later.
Right, so it's 7:53. As you can see, we're still firmly in the airport. So we had a bit of a hiccup because Sophie is obviously pregnant at the moment, and she's 30 weeks. Now, we've flown with her pregnant before, so of course we've gone to the gate and everything, and then we've gone through, scanned the boarding passes and everything. So we're walking towards the plane, but then Sophie starts throwing up. You know, and at that point, no staff noticed, nobody really took notice of it, to be honest. So I stood there, you know, and whatever, and then we just waited. And then obviously she stood there for a couple of minutes. And then after a couple of minutes, I think a staff member was sort of wondering, are we walking towards the plane or not? They hadn't noticed that she was throwing up. And then, of course, Sophie, trying to be honest, has turned around and, sorry, we've left G sat just there. So they were wondering where we were. But yeah, so, of course, you know, Sophie, trying to be as honest as possible, turned around to the staff member, thought, you know, the staff member had noticed and said, look, I'm sorry, and whatever else. Obviously the staff member was totally oblivious at the time, and I thought, okay, they haven't noticed. And then I knew immediately, do not say you're throwing up, because obviously once you're throwing up, regardless of pregnancy or whatsoever else, staff are immediately going to say, oh, are you actually safe to fly, and so on. So essentially that's exactly the next question that came, you know, because Sophie then pointed out I'm throwing up. So the staff member basically said, you know, and she's just doing her job, of course, so you can't be too upset about that. But the staff member turned around and said pretty much, you know, are you fit to fly? So then Sophie obviously announced that she was pregnant, which at that point, you know, they said, have you got a fit to fly letter? Now, what we weren't aware of, which we have become aware of now, is that after 27 weeks, you have to technically have the letter to provide if prompted. Now, we weren't aware of that. We knew she was okay to fly, but we weren't aware we had to provide the letter if prompted. So, of course, you know, they said, look, you know, you've got to get a fit to fly letter emailed or faxed over from your maternity midwife, and so on. So obviously, you know, Sophie's been back and forth on the phone trying to sort that out. They said there was another flight at 2:55 in the afternoon, and they'll transfer us over if they can get the fit to fly letter. So obviously at the moment we're still pretty much sat in the airport. It's all up in the air at the moment, whether we're going to fly, whether we're not going to fly, what's happening, what's not happening. So yeah, it's been a bit of an experience at the moment. Never had this one before, but nonetheless, we'll obviously see what occurs. But as I said, Jen, she was she was traumatized. I think he was crying and everything. I think she was. Yeah, Jen was quite upset with the lady. I said to her, look, she's just doing her job at the end of the day. Yeah, but no, you don't do that. But yeah, so she, you know, at the end of the day, just doing the job really. So, you know, me in terms of how I'm feeling, I'm not happy. I'm not happy about it at all. But hey, you know, we'll see if we end up returning home or whether we end up getting on the flight later on this afternoon. So we're just waiting to hear from the GP and then go from there really.
1 hour later.
Right, it's been quite a palaver, to be honest. Quite a palaver. Right, we're through the woods now. You know, we're all clear. So we've been back and forth. So Sophie spoke to the midwife. The midwife said, well, I can't do it. Speak to your GP. The GP will do it. Spoke to the receptionist at the GP. The receptionist at the GP said, it's not something we do. So it was just like, okay, who do we speak to here? So it was literally at square one, not knowing what was going to occur. Sophie managed to find a company or a private company online that would, based off submitting images of medical records from the most recent visits to the antenatal clinic and stuff like that, they would basically issue fit to fly as long as everything seems okay. So that costs, I think we paid £66 for it to be rapid. So we ended up going through that method. The actual company itself had, you know, iffy reviews. They had good reviews and some bad reviews, as with many companies. So I was a bit skeptical, and on the, yeah, I was on the edge, to be honest. But it came through within the hour. It came through, showed it to Ryanair customer service. They accepted it, and yeah, basically they, transferred us free of charge onto the later flight. So yeah, drama pretty much over for the time being. I suppose it's better to arrive later than never, so boy oh boy. So the journey continues. You feel relieved?
Yeah.
She's fed up. How many hours is about 5 hours?
Yeah,
Dorothy?
5 hours now.
I think G's just had enough, mate.
She had a nap.
Yeah.
I haven't.
Later.
Still waiting.
One nap later.
Finally. Let's get the show on the road. Right, so we finally made it out. We've picked up the car and everything. Today has just been almost like a cursed day from the get-go. From the moment
It hasn't finished yet, so careful.
Well, yeah. I mean, from the moment we entered the airport, got through security, Genevieve puked her guts up outside WH Smith's. It was like, what? Just out of the blue. And then obviously we had the palaver, you know, approaching the plane. And, you know, then obviously we finally managed to resolve that, sort that out. We got on the plane. Then on the plane, I even started to feel ill. So I went for a strange thing on the plane. For about 10 minutes, I was literally burning up inside. I went in the bathroom and I was literally sweating puddles. I don't know what was going on. Sophia said that her mum said there's a virus going around or whatever. I don't know. I am recovering from a cold, so I'm not even too sure. But, I just had this, it was just a weird one. It was like I had like a sugar crash, and I'm used to them, but I'm not diabetic. But, this was something different. And, I was literally just, my entire clothing was just pouring, soaked wet.
Are you okay? See, I told you the day went over.
I know, poor kid. Sorry there, that little boy obviously had an accident there. But yeah, my clothing was all soaked wet. It was a very strange moment. And then
you were in the toilet for about 20 minutes.
Yeah, literally. Folks were even banging on the door.
Yeah.
Because I was in there. I was so unwell. I needed fresh air, but obviously when you're like 39,000 feet in the air, you're not going to get any fresh air. No. So obviously I just had to kind of like sit in there and just like breathe through it.
Recoup a little bit.
Yeah, and then after about 10-15 minutes I started to feel, sort of normalized again, and then I started to sort of crash again towards the end of the flight, and I had to take me out off and everything else because I was just starting to heat up.
That was a terrible flight though, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was.
The turbulence was terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest. It's not been the greatest travel day for us. I think this. Do you know what? This has been probably the 4th or 5th time this year coming to the island, but it's just been intense. This was like an experience to say the least, and I don't know if it's because the island's also getting busier. Once you reach here, the queues in arrivals is insane.
Yeah,
and then
crazy.
Obviously
considering they said that the second flight that we were getting on
was less busy. Yeah, but then obviously they've had other flights arriving. You had an entire Irish tour bus by the looks of it, and then obviously queuing up for the cars. I've used these guys before, and normally it's a breeze, but for some reason, massive queue and had to wait. So it's just been intense. It's now 8:14 as we speak.
Oh, wow.
We left home this morning about nearly 3 o'clock.
I'd say about 10 past, 3, I reckon.
Yeah, around about that, so we've been on the go for so long. It's now 8:15. Now we've got to, before we check into our apartment, we've got to go to the supermarket. We've got to pick up some bits and pieces before they close at 10 p.m. And then after we've done that and checked into our apartment and everything, we've then got to come back out to try and find some dinner, So it's all just, it's been a manic, chaotic and, oh my God, horrid travel day. But nonetheless,
it's experience.
Yeah.
And we're all safe.
Yeah, we're nearly through it. Kids are all good and everything else. They've been fed, they've been nourished.
They have been absolutely excellent today.
G's been really good, really good. For a kid that's like 18 months old.
She's 17 months.
Well, 17, yeah, right, she's getting old. For a kid that's that young, you'd expect them to really just have a torrid time. But, she actually, overall,
excellent.
It's been great. It's been great with her. So yeah, we're going to get them all sorted with some snacks and everything for the apartment, and then we're going to get some food and get some dinner. Most restaurants still be open at 10 o'clock, 10:30 anyway, so we'll have a late dinner tonight.
Rocking out in our travel gear.
Yeah, exactly.
Looking sexy.
Exactly. So yeah, right. So we're nearly at the end of this travel day, but yeah, let's get the show back on the road and back to the supermarket.
Woohoo!